Apologies for that. I think we have sound now. But the news tonight, this Wednesday evening, is that Paulo Fonseca and his move to Tottenham is 99% done. And that is as per Romeo Agresti. We are Tottenham TV tweeting that in the last couple of minutes. In the last 15 minutes is when we've heard this news. First from Gianluca Di Marzio, then Fabrizio Romano, now Romeo Agresti. And the odds are showing that he's more than likely going to be the next Tottenham manager. As I said, as I was muted, the news continues to break now. We do not know exactly what is going on. We heard from Romano in the last day or two that we wouldn't hear about the next manager until the deal was almost done. And it looks like the deal is done. It looks like Paulo Fonseca is going to be the new manager. And in a crazy turn of events that Spurs fans are certainly not going to be happy about. One that I'm not happy about is it looks like we're doing a direct swap at Roma. Jose Mourinho left Spurs and has taken up his role, will take up his role at Roma next season. And now it looks as though Paulo Fonseca is going to be coming the other way and that he will be the new Spurs manager. Look, he of course brought Roma to the Europa League semi-final last year before being knocked out by Manchester United. It was a good run for them in the competition, but is he the man that Spurs need? Is he the man that Spurs wants? Well, he's been at Roma for the last 2 years and they haven't really done much. They haven't achieved much there. I'm just going to take a quick look now. Again, as I said, all of this kind of coming through now in the last 20 or so minutes. Everything is still being figured out. Managerial honours, he won a couple of cups in Portugal with Porto and Braga. He then went to Shakhtar Donetsk, where he won the Ukrainian Premier League 3 times, the Ukrainian Cup 3 times, and the Ukrainian Super Cup once. He also won the Ukrainian Premier League Best Coach in 2016-17, but he didn't win anything with Roma in his 2 years that he was there. We heard close enough to the end of the season that he would be leaving them, and now it looks as though he will be the next Tottenham manager. I see some comments coming through there saying Paratici out. Christopher saying Fonseca's resume is average. Levy has sanctioned this, I fear. And look, again, we're trying to figure out what is going on here, because it's been a crazy last 20 minutes as everything's come through. I apologize. I'm working on increasing the volume here. As you see, I'm in a new place right now, so I apologize if there are any issues with this. Hopefully that sound is a bit better now. But yeah, look, Romano tweeted 16 minutes ago, Tottenham are now in talks with Paulo Fonseca as potential new manager. New director of football Fabio Paratici is involved in the deal. 5 minutes after that, he said Tottenham are discussing with Paulo Fonseca on a 3-year contract. Fonseca is 100% open to accept the Tottenham job if Spurs will definitely decide to appoint him in the next hours. He's so appreciated by Fabio Paratici as a candidate. Now, like we said, Romeo is saying on We Are Tottenham TV that this deal is as good as done. It's 99% done. We heard the same with Conte, so let's not get too excited yet. We've Shauna Blaney coming in with another super chat there, another £50 from Shauna. Thank you so much. Again, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Echoing all of our sentiments, saying this is a joke. With Paul Markey as well with the €5. Thank you very much, Paul. It says this is ridiculous. He knows nothing about the Premiership. Scott Parker would at least know the club and the Premier League. Levy has done us again, and that is a big concern, because one of the first things we heard from Daniel Levy in this pursuit of a manager is that we wanted someone with Premier League experience, and that's absolutely something that Paulo Fonseca does not have. Gianluca Di Marzio tweeted 16 minutes ago. He said Paulo Fonseca is ready to be the new Spurs manager, a 3-year contract for him with Spurs official. And I'm just opening up his full article here, translating it so we can run through that. And again, it will be in broken English because of the Google translation. He says the dream of coaching in the Premier League, Paulo Fonseca has never hidden it, a desire that is now one step away from becoming a reality. The former Roma manager, in fact, is very close to becoming the new coach of Tottenham. A 3-year contract is ready for him, a deal that has now reached its final details, so much that the official announcement is scheduled for mid next week. A story within history, that of Paulo Fonseca at Tottenham. The Portuguese coach will in fact go to coach the team that belonged to Jose Mourinho, the man who will replace him at the helm of the Giallorossi club. An exchange of benches between the two, therefore, and that's the concerning thing in this one, that we're directly swapping managers with Roma. It's a very strange turn of events, and again, we had kind of been told all along that it could end up being a manager that we wouldn't expect, that we hadn't yet heard of in the links. And just before we started the stream, I checked the odds on Paulo Fonseca, and I had them done out, as you can see beside me. Paddy Power and Betfair were both in at 75-1, and in the flash of an eye, Paddy Power now at 4-11, Betfair in at 11-10. And I was going to see if Sky Bet are still 5-1. I doubt that they are. Sky Bet now coming in at 3-4 as well. Boyle Sports in at 1-3. They've reopened markets on Tottenham's next manager. So looking very, very likely this evening that Paulo Fonseca will be the next manager at Tottenham. We're going to keep talking about this. We're going to continue talking through this this bizarre turn of events. 10th Modders with the £2 super chat. Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. If you are enjoying the stream, by the way, do make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 10k before the season starts. And make sure to smash a like on the stream as well if you are as confused by this news as I am. I'm refreshing Twitter here, seeing if we can get any more updates on this one, because like I said, this news coming out in a very, very abrupt manner, I suppose is the best way to put it. Again, as Jamarzio says, Tottenham are set to officially announce Paulo Fonseca next week, and it is a whole host of Italian journalists saying that Paulo Fonseca will be the next manager of Tottenham. It is a done deal. Gianluca Di Marzio says Fabio Paratici was seen in Milan this evening, and with the football director expected to take a role at Tottenham Hotspur, he may have made the trip to seal Paulo Fonseca. Now, we heard that Paratici had met with Tottenham representatives in Turin yesterday. He was supposed to fly to London today, but perhaps he has stayed behind to get this deal done and to bring Paulo Fonseca to Tottenham. Ganesh comes in with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that. Ganesh says, as you understand, Roma was bad at defence. This is not good enough. And I don't know too much off the top of my head about them, but I do know they were very weak at the back in their Europa League semi-final with Manchester United. Roma finished 7th in the Serie A last season, conceding 58 goals, which is the highest out of any team in the top 10, which isn't a very good start in this one. We'll go through more on their form in a second. We have another super chat. I hate Marmite. Thank you very much, coming in with the £20. Says, no, not him. I'd rather Potter. We need to get Enoch out. We can't stop people going to games, but we can storm the pitch at away games. They won't find 100 plus fans, but we'll find the club, and this will hurt their pockets. Hashtag Enoch out. Well, I fully agree with the sentiment there that Enoch do need to go. I don't think this managerial decision is a reflection of that. But first of all, I don't think storming the pitch is any way to approach this. But thank you very much for the super chat. I think this appointment of Paulo Fonseca shows that Daniel Levy has given full control of this to Fabio Paratici. Steve Hitchen was the man kind of orchestrating the hunt for a manager initially. Eventually, as Paratici came in, he was going to take over. And the fact that it is an Italian manager, and as we are hearing, he was Fabio Paratici's first choice, I think this is the beginning, hopefully, of Daniel Levy giving power of footballing decisions to other people within the club, mainly Fabio Paratici. We may not agree with the decision. We may not agree with who this is. Actually, the Wikipedia page is updated here. Paulo Fonseca in brackets. Who's that, bro? People don't quite know who we're getting as our next manager. Look, we're going to talk through who Paulo Fonseca is. As I said, okay, finished 7th in the Serie A with Roma last season, scoring 68, conceding 58, which is the most in the top half of the table. Of course, got to the Europa League semi-final where they were eventually beaten by Manchester United. But I kind of said the same thing about Jurgen Klinsmann that I'll say now, and it's, I don't know what his philosophies are, what his style of play is, and what exactly he is going to bring into Spurs. And you know, that's a concern for us as fans, because we want to bring in a man that we know what we're expecting. Heaven DA says the £5 super chat. Thanks for the content. Absolutely random appointment. Thank you very much for the super chat. And it is an extremely random appointment. Again, we had been told that it could be a manager that we hadn't heard of, or a manager that hadn't been linked, rather, that would be the next man at Spurs. And it looks like that is the case with Paulo Fonseca quickly becoming the favourite. And I said it when Paulo Fonseca left Roma and Jose Mourinho went in, that I made a joke on Twitter saying, oh, here come the links to Tottenham. The links didn't quite come until now, as again we're hearing that the deal is 99% done. Romeo Gresti is saying Paulo Fonseca is the chosen one of Fabio Paratici. So there's two ways to look at this. One is that we're all going to be like Danny Rose Googling Paulo Fonseca, but the other one is that it is a sign, and it is showing that Daniel Levy has given full control of this one to Fabio Paratici, and that is what we want. We want him to take that step back from the footballing decisions. And I saw a comment there a second ago saying, do I trust Paratici? I don't trust him enough to not be concerned about this appointment. I will have my concerns and I will have my fears about this manager coming in, but I would trust him more to get this manager than Daniel Levy, and especially with Paratici working in Italy the last couple of years, where he would have twice a season come up against Paulo Fonseca's Roma. He will know a lot more about this manager than we do. And if he's come in and he's been asked to pick a manager and Fonseca was his first choice, well, then I think we have to trust that this could be a better appointment than we are thinking. It's not Poch, it's not Conte, and that is where Daniel Levy is going to suffer with this one. Like I said, he's his own worst enemy in promising us these incredible appointments, or in the past promising us these incredible signings and then not getting them over the line, and then whatever we do end up with is going to be a disappointment. Well, that's what we're seeing now again. Maybe a couple of weeks ago, Fonseca would have been in the kind of bracket of, well, we still don't want him, but it seems a whole lot worse now when when we've been promised what we have almost been promised in the last couple of weeks. Twitter is in an absolute frenzy. There's a meltdown. A good tweet here, Fonseca has won more trophies than Poch, and people are belittling him already. Well, my concerns would be the only trophies he's won were in Portugal and Ukraine, which is of course nowhere near the level and quality of player or of kind of football that we have in England. Romano saying Paulo Fonseca is seriously appreciated by imminent Tottenham Hotspur director Fabio Paratici. And again, any concerns that the Paratici deal may not be done, I think is finished now. Paul Markey says with the €2 super chat, thank you, Paul, says the fact he bought Chris Smalling says it all. And look, I'd argue that's kind of the opposite, because Chris Smalling has done very well over there. He's been a fantastic addition to that Roma team. And I suppose in some regard, there is a similar concern there as there was with Antonio Conte, in that the type of manager we're bringing in, his style of recruitment could be former Premier League players that were, not quite performing well in the Premier League, and then all of a sudden they're doing well in a different league, as with Antonio Conte, Matteo Darmian, Ashley Young, Romelu Lukaku, Alexis Sanchez as well. And I was trying to get up Roma's transfer history here to take a look at who exactly Fonseca has brought in his 2 years at Roma. Josh King with the £5 super chat. Josh, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. It says, I can't help but feel extremely underwhelmed by disappointment. I'm just hoping this is a bit of Paratici magic. Levy is taking a massive risk. And that is it. Any bit of faith and any bit of hope that we have in this appointment is in Fabio Paratici. And that's it. Romeo Agressi said earlier today on We Are Tottenham TV that he's the best director of football in the world. And now we're hearing that this is his first choice. The only hope we have is to trust in it, and to trust in this decision that Paratici and Tottenham are making. Because if we don't, well, we might as well give up now. We might as well pack it in. So just taking a look at the signings that Roma have made in the last couple of years. So Paulo Fonseca was appointed, let's get the date exactly right so we don't go back to before him coaching career. Roma, he took over Roma on the 11th of June 2019, so we would have had the summer window in 2019. So that season they brought in Leonardo Spinazzola for 26 million from Juventus. Pau Lopez brought in for 21 million from Real Betis. Pau Lopez, you may remember, was on loan at Spurs a couple of years ago. I don't think he actually played, and then he was brought out to Roma, and he's since become a very, very good goalkeeper for Roma. So that, I think, is a clever signing. And we do have an update from Fabrizio Romano. Thank you to everyone in the chat for bringing my attention to that one. Paulo Fonseca wants to join Tottenham. Direct talks with Fabio Paratici on a 3-year contract in order to complete the agreement. Deal not signed yet, but both sides confident. Paratici has signed with Spurs until June 2024. Same contract discussed with Fonseca. So Romano telling us there that Paratici to Spurs is a done deal. He has put pen to paper, and Paulo Fonseca is very, very close to putting pen to paper on the exact same deal until June of 2024. So that's a big update now, that Paratici has put pen to paper and Paulo Fonseca is set to do that very, very shortly. Other players brought in by Paulo Fonseca at Roma include Brian Cristante from Atalanta for 20 million, Amadou Diawara from Napoli for 19 million. He brought in Gonzalo Villar from Elche, 3.6 million. That first season he made some loan signings in Henrik Mkhitaryan, Mert Chetin, Chris Smalling, Gianluca Mancini, Nikola Kalinic, Carlos Perez, Jordan Vertu, formerly of Aston Villa. Brought in Roger Ibanez from Atalanta and David Zappacosta from Chelsea as well. Last season, he brought in Gianluca Mancini on a permanent deal after loaning him the previous year. He brought in Jordan Vertu the same way, Chris Smalling the same way, Carlos Perez from Barcelona, and then a few loan signings in Marash Kumbula from Hellas Verona, a very, very promising player for the future. Borja Mayoral on loan from Real Madrid, Brian Reynolds as well from FC Dallas, and a few free signings, some very good free signings in Stefan El Shaarawy from Shanghai Shenhua, Henrik Mkhitaryan from Arsenal, and Pedro from Chelsea. Liam Donovan with the £2 super chat says, someone called Roy Hodgson. Well, I imagine there's a Spurs fan somewhere on the phone to him trying to save us from what could be a very poor appointment. But Liam, thank you for the super chat. The chat is absolutely flying with 650 people in here. If you do want to guarantee your comments are read out, please do send in a super chat. It's a good way to support the channel, and like I say, it'll guarantee your comment is read out. Do make sure to subscribe as well while you are here. We are on the road to 10k before the season starts. Let's see if we can get there, and as well make sure to smash the like button while you were here. If you're as disappointed with this news as I am, only 84 likes and nearly 700 people watching, please do smash that like button. And if we could keep spamming out of the chat as well, it would be greatly appreciated. I'll get to some comments when I do get the chance. We're just trying to gauge what the hell is going on here. Just to bring you the most recent update again from Fabrizio Romano to anyone who may have missed it. Tottenham are discussing with Paulo Paulo Fonseca wants to join Tottenham. Direct talks with Fabio Paratici on a 3-year contract in order to complete the agreement. Deal not signed yet, but both sides confident. Dara with the €2 super chat says, just when you think Levy couldn't sink any lower. And again, I think in a roundabout way, this reflects well on Daniel Levy, because it shows that he's giving the power of the footballing decisions to Paratici as he promised he would. So I think this reflects well on Daniel Levy, but it's putting everything on the line, so to speak, for Fabio Paratici. Just to remind you, the odds beside me have been updated. William Hill have come back into the betting markets in the last couple of minutes with 1-4 for Paulo Fonseca. Sky Bet updating there to 4-11. Paddy Power still the same, and Boyle Sports back in at 2-7. With Betfair also at 4-11. So he's the odds-on favourite by a long way now to become the next Spurs manager. Eric Ten Hag odds still shortening with Sky Bet, Bet Victor and Boyle Sports, but drifting with Paddy Power and Betfair. I think he will very, very quickly fall out of the running altogether. Paulo Fonseca, he's going to be the next manager of Spurs if we're believing what we're hearing tonight, which I really think we have to, because it's coming really, really thick and fast from the Italian side of things. Interestingly, not any updates from the English press. You're talking Duncan Castles, Alistair Gold, Dan Kilpatrick, Jack Pitbrook, the usual suspects, not yet chiming in on this one. Paul Markey with the €2 says, my new team, come on Brentford. Look, I think there may be a number of Spurs fans in the same boat as you, but Paul, thank you again for the super chat. Silver Surfer with the 179 rupees, I think, says who? And that's the question a lot of Spurs fans will be asking. And the best answer to give it is the man who was being replaced by Jose Mourinho at Roma is now replacing Jose Mourinho at Spurs. It's a direct swap of managers. Well, it was an indirect swap of managers between Spurs and Roma, with Paulo Fonseca looking to be the new Spurs manager. It's not one we'd heard of links at all, like I said, but it is looking like he'll be the next manager. Christopher says, from Conte to Fonseca, wow, unbelievable. And that is exactly the feeling that we have. Michael Cabral says he's a good manager. Roma had a brilliant start to the season, but injuries really had an effect to the final outcome. The players really enjoy playing for him. And look, if the players enjoy playing for him, I think that's a good sign. I mean, we'd heard that the players weren't happy with Antonio Conte being the next manager, and some people are perhaps suggesting that that is why Spurs pulled out of the Conte deal. But if the players were happy under him at Roma, maybe we could have the same at Spurs. Steve saying, I think you need to stop running with every rumour. It's what the channel is, Steve. We bring the updates every single day, and this is more than a rumour. This is very, very close to being confirmed. Gianluca Di Marzio saying an announcement is set for next week. Again, keep an eye on Twitter to see if we have updates from the English side of things. As of yet, we do not. It is still just Gianluca Di Marzio, Fabrizio Romano and Romeo Agresti from the Italian side of things saying this is very, very close to being done. He hasn't yet put pen to paper, but it could very well be in the next 24 to 48 hours that he does so. Tin Man with the £2 super chat says, what a disgrace, Joe Club with Tim Pot ambition. And look, I completely understand the concerns and the annoyance that people are feeling with this appointment, because we don't know who Paulo Fonseca is. But again, I will reiterate, I think this appointment is a sign that Daniel Levy has given that power, the complete power, to make this decision to Fabio Paratici, as he said he would and as he hoped he would. Any frustrations, any unhappiness or concerns with this appointment need to be directed at Fabio Paratici. And again, I'll say that we need to trust in him, because he's been working in Italian football for 11 years. He's come to Spurs and he's been given the choice to pick the manager that he wants, and he has picked Paulo Fonseca. He knows a lot more about him than we do. I'm concerned and I'm worried and I'm upset about where this may lead, but you do have to put your faith in this man that's coming in, who we've been told is the best director of football in world football, who Juve have credited with a lot of their success in the last 11 years. We need to relax and take a step back and realise that while we may not know much about him, and while we may not be the best judges of him, we may not like him, we need to trust in Fabio Paratici to make the right decision here. It's extremely difficult, and I'm struggling myself to do so as well. But it's going to be a very interesting transfer window and a very, very interesting season ahead. Christopher says, we're going to be laughed out of town, I guarantee you. Mid-table mediocrity. Twan coming in with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that. Says, Matty, please tell me, why does God hate us? What have we done? Seriously, what have we done? Well, look, I don't know. I don't know what we've done, Twan. That's the easiest way to answer that one. But certainly there's someone there that doesn't want the very best for us. In a matter of a week, in a matter of 2 weeks, we've gone from Mauricio Pochettino to Antonio Conte to Paulo Fonseca, as we're hearing is imminently going to be the next manager. We do have an update from England, from the English side of the press, and it's Matt Law from the Daily Telegraph saying Tottenham have not yet agreed a deal to appoint Paulo Fonseca, but he has moved to the front of the queue. He is, as per Matt Law, the favourite for the job right now. And well, I said this with Antonio Conte, so I want to be a bit careful in saying it again, but I think it could just be a matter of time on this one. Ganesh with the $5 says, well, on the bright side, we can start looking at player transfers and end this manager saga. And that is a positive side of things as well. We're getting a manager. We're getting someone in. It may not be before the Euros, if DiMarzio is to be believed. It could be midweek next week before we get that official announcement. However, if this deal is 99% done, I imagine Fonseca would be working with Paratici already in deciding which players he wants to be shipped out and which players he might want to bring into Spurs. And that is the important bit. We can start to make those decisions. Ganesh, thank you for that super chat. And a very good point there with the transfer window opening today. Well, that's where we're going now. Anthony, just to say, the odds beside me have since updated. I can't update them here without ending the stream and restarting everything, which I'm not quite going to do. But with Sky Bet, he's now 4-11. Paddy Power updating now to 3-10. 1-4 at William Hill, 3-10 with Betfair, and 2-7 with Boyle Sports. That is where the odds currently stand. Not as good as they do look beside me. They've updated that since, and as Jack Legros says, Sky Bet odds on. 830 people watching. Please do smash that like button. Please hit the subscribe button as well if you are new. We're on the road to 10k before the season starts. Let's see where we're at right now in terms of likes. We have 153. Let's get that to 200 as quickly as we can, and we're closing in on 8,500 subscribers. So please do hit that subscribe button as we bring you an update from Alistair Gold. I love the people in the chat bringing in these updates as it's going along. Alistair Gold tweeted 36 seconds ago, yes, I'm on a day off, so of course stuff happens. Told Paulo Fonseca is indeed Fabio Paratici's top target to become the new Spurs head coach. Not a done deal, but the incoming Italian wants him at Tottenham. Certainly an interesting choice for the club and the Premier League. So the update's now starting to come in from the English side of things, and from Alistair Gold in particular, who says that he is the number one target for the next Spurs manager as it stands. I wouldn't be surprised if you get more updates throughout tonight and into tomorrow as Tottenham try and get this deal done. If Fabrizio Romano the other day was correct, try and get this deal done before the Euros kick off, with Turkey playing Italy at 8 o'clock on Friday. I'm not sure we'll have an announcement by then, but the deal could very well be done, and that is when Fonseca will begin working behind the scenes with Fabio Paratici, if he hasn't already. Timothy saying, Matt, do you like this manager? I don't, to be perfectly honest. To put it in the bluntest way possible, I'm not a fan of him, but I suppose I also don't dislike him because I don't know enough about him to make a proper judgment. And like I said earlier, I tweeted when Jose went to Roma, when Paulo Fonseca was announced to be leaving, I joked that we get these links with Paulo Fonseca to Tottenham. I didn't for a second believe that on the 9th of June we'd be told that he could be the next Spurs manager, because first of all, I would have thought we'd have a manager in place by then, and second of all, well, I didn't think Fonseca would be the man that Spurs would end up going for. But it looks like that is the case. It looks like Spurs are going all out for Paulo Fonseca, and the deal is very, very nearly done. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. We'll go through a few more comments here before we do wrap up. Alama says, last 6-2 to Ole Gunnar, we are ruined, and that is definitely a concern that we'd have there straight away. Manson Not Happy says, please God no. Peter McDonough says, disaster class. David Thompson says, Paratici and Fonseca to not dare is to do. Well, look, again, we don't know enough about Fonseca. I think Paratici needs to be trusted on this one as much as we possibly can. I mean, we need to be skeptical, we need to question things, but I think we need to see where this one goes, maybe throughout the transfer window, see what kind of players we can see what type of players we can bring in. Jack says, how can you dislike him if you don't know him? I said I don't dislike him because I don't know him. I don't like him, I don't dislike him, I don't know enough about him to make a proper opinion, but I will be looking up at him tonight and tomorrow, and we'll bring a massive update tomorrow telling you everything you need to know about Fonseca. Matt Craven with the $5, thank you very much for that super chat. Matt says, I guess the question is, how much do we trust Paratici if he is the one who wants this manager? And that is exactly it. That is exactly where we need to look right now. Stuart, good to see you in the live chat. Says, pretty telling that Paratici has moved for him so quickly, and that is exactly it, Stuart. A great point there that I think ties in very, very well with Matt's super chat, that if Paratici has moved this fast for him, he wants him. He absolutely wants him at his club. He's been working on the manager for only 4 or 5 days from what we've heard, and already it looks like that deal is done for Fonseca. He really did want him if this is the case. And as Matt says, how much do we trust Paratici? Well, Romeo Agresti told us today that he's the best director of football in the world, and Juventus have credited a lot of their success in recent years to Paratici. He knows Italian football better than we do, without a shadow of a doubt. So we need to trust him. We need to trust in Paratici. It will be difficult. It will be a tough one to kind of take the back seat on. But again, let's see where this transfer window goes and see where we lie there. Jerome Claridor with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Jerome. Says, this is a joke. Roma did not want him, and now we are taking an unknown manager. Look, the fact that Roma didn't want him, I think, is something we do need to look at. They, of course, moved for Jose Mourinho very, very quickly after announcing that Fonseca would be leaving. Stuart Gallup says, Italian report saying we were talking to Fonseca since May 31st. So this is one perhaps that has been going on, as Stuart says, for longer than we expected. As Romano told us, we wouldn't hear about the next manager. Levy and Paratici would keep quiet until this deal was very, very close. Alvin Blocks, good to see you in the live chat, says, from Poch to Conte to Paulo. And that is it. That is the path that us Spurs fans have been taking on in the last couple of weeks. But it is Paulo Fonseca who's looking very, very likely to be the next Spurs manager. Gianluca Di Marzio, Romeo Agresti and Fabrizio Romano, all very, very certain this deal is very close to being done. Di Marzio saying we could get an announcement as early as midweek next week. And the updates from the English side of things, and Matt Law saying a deal is not yet done, but he is definitely top of the queue. And Alistair Gold saying Paulo Fonseca is Fabio Paratici's number one choice to be the next manager of Spurs. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat, in the comments down below. What do you think about this one? Do you trust Fabio Paratici that he has made the right decision? Do you trust in Paulo Fonseca to be the next manager? What part do you think Daniel Levy would have played in this one? There's a whole lot of questions to be asked. Are we going to get answers? Well, we might have to wait a very long time for them. It might be deep into next season before we get the answers that we're looking for. Alvin says maybe we'll get Neves then. Look, we don't know what type of players Fonseca has relationships with. We don't know what type of players he will try to bring in. Again, all these questions will be answered in the coming days and in the coming weeks as Tottenham look to progress into the next season and get back into that Champions League. Whether or not Fonseca would be the man to do that remains to be seen. As Alvin said, Danny Rose would not be happy with disappointment. I'm sure if Rose was still at the club, he'd be Googling very, very quickly, but he's not, so maybe it's not his concern right now. But Alvin, thank you for tuning in. Good to see you in the live chat. Good to see the incredible numbers on the stream again. We've over 4,000 people tuning in, nearly 900 people here right now. Please, please, please hit that like button on your way out. We're on 200. Let's see if we can get that to 250. One of the highest we've ever reached on a live stream, if that is the case. Again, please hit that subscribe button if you are new here. We're on the road to 10,000 before the season starts. We're going to be giving huge updates on Paulo Fonseca, telling you everything you need to know about him tomorrow, talking tactics, philosophies, recruitment, everything, and how that may tie in with Fabio Paratici. We'll also have the Tottenham Hotspur Transfer Talk series coming back in full flow when our manager is announced, whether it's Fonseca or not. We're going to be going the whole way through the transfer window, keeping you up to date on Tottenham's transfer dealings, players coming in and players coming out, with rumours already coming very, very quickly. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in, to the 4,500 of you, to the 900 that are still left. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll have better news in the coming days and more clarity on what this is, but as always, thanks for watching.